AFCON group stages are over and it did not disappoint. And also, shockingly, Maresca leaves Chelsea. Welcome back to another episode of Ball IQ Podcast. Tolu, Real Madrid and Nigeria fan. And guess who's back from another injury?
Nelson, Chelsea fan and Nigeria fan, Super Eagles fan.
Super Eagles.
Happy
How fun.
holidays to
Happy
everybody
New
who
Year.
celebrates. Yeah,
Happy New Year.
likewise. Happy New Year. Many returns.
Yeah, I can still see your tree still representing.
Yeah, yeah.
Still
I'm gonna take
representing
it
my
down soon, soon.
soonest. How fun? How you been?
Good, good. Just been moving, trying to enjoy this festive period, but obviously Chelsea in December never mix, so it's been a little bit problematic, but the Eagles are flying in Africa, it seems, as of right now. So we'll see.
As of right now.
Hmm.
But it's funny you said that. I feel like I should post that clip again when you said Chelsea in December. I feel like I should post it again because it's like
Yeah,
ringing true.
you can go ahead. This was like one of the things that I was hoping would not come from a problematic period. You know, the sacking of the coach, which is obviously just like hitting the restart button on a project in so many ways.
Mhm.
The results weren't that poor. I think Leeds was probably the worst result over the period of the last month,
Yeah,
but still a lot of winnable games that were drawn completely out of the title. A lot of tension, but we'll get into it. Just Chelsea in December. That's just what it is.
basically. And now that you said that, I'll now start like I'll probably won't forget it again. Next December we'll be like, okay, let's see if this rings true for real, for
It does.
real.
It
It does.
it 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 does. I don't know what it is about it. I just the yeah,
It's one of
it,
those things, I guess.
it's one of them things.
One of them things. But AFCON. Man, my heart is filled with joy at the football I'm watching, both from the Super Eagles and every other country, or most countries, pretty much that I watch. Like every game is just fantastic. You know, the flair, the style, the goals, I mean, it's just the techers on display. I mean, it's just everybody's playing like I don't know how to explain it. It just means a lot to watch thus far. And I think I thought the last edition was the best I've seen. This is
Mhm.
already better. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, no, AFCON, it's funny how much in Europe it kind of gets a bad rap in the European leagues, and then I just feel like European fans don't really gravitate towards us. But if you watch AFCON, which we do,
Mhm.
we know how much of a treat it is, especially around this time of year, to just
Yeah.
have a tournament of this caliber where everybody it means something to every team.
Yep.
There's always some sort of entertainment in every game. On the pitch or in the stands or with the
Understand.
ref. But it's our tournament, and I love the pride that comes with you know with the AFCON tournament from it just oozes from every team. So good vibes and great quality of play as well.
Fantastic.
That's the biggest like concern I've had about Nigeria is just because we have so many European players, sometimes it gets lost, or players that play in Europe, excuse me. The importance of AFCON it can sometimes get lost in translation, I feel like. But
Mm.
everybody on the pitch today, or for this tournament, seems like they really understand the significance on the heels of missing the World Cup.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I wanted to in this deep dive for this episode, I wanted to discuss how Nigeria played the first more importantly the first two games because it was kind of consistent. By the third game we had already qualified, so we kind of did something different and played French players. But the first two games kind of like spoke to me a little bit, and the reason it spoke to me is because of something that we said during qualifiers that and I'm going to, I guess, quote you because it kind of encapsulates what my feelings are too, which
Mm.
is there's a easy size hole in the Nigerian national team first 11. And what Nelson means by that is we don't have a playmaker. We don't have somebody who's in behind the striker or strikers to create those chances for Victor and or whoever. And I think the clever thing that Eric Chell did is still play 4-4-2, still play two strikers, but play it differently where Ademola Lookman is now serving as the 10, and it
Mm.
has three central midfielders of Ndidi in the middle, Iwobi as the left center midfield, and first game was Samuel Chukwueze right center midfield. I thought that that was a little dangerous because he's more of an attacker and
Yeah, he's more of like a bona fide winger.
winger,
Like,
yeah. So
yeah.
him playing that deep was kind of like maybe in respect to them playing Tanzania, who they should dominate. I think that's why they made that decision. But when they played Tunisia, they played Franco Eka there instead, which who
Mm.
I think would play there going forward against big boys at least. But
Yeah.
playing these three in the back and having Ademola Lookman look for spaces in behind Osimhen and Akwa Adams is working wonders because we scored what 2 goals in first game, 3 goals in second game,
Mhm.
3 goals in third game. We discussed how many times like our um I guess our disappointment in them not scoring enough goals. And just that one change. It's funny how football
Yeah.
works. One change just changes everything. One tweak changes everything. So most of the time, what I've noticed is Alex gets a lot of the ball. Alex Iwobi gets a lot of the ball deeper in
Mhm.
the midfield, and he's the one who he's played a couple very impressive, like prime Barcelona-esque penetrative pat. What's that word they use? The football term they use. I think it's called line breaking passes
Yeah.
where it's like in between, just finds Lookman in a pocket of space, and all of a sudden, Lookman is attacking the defense with two options in Osimhen and Akwa Adams to pass to, and a possible shot at goal. Lookman has in 2 games has 2 goals, 2 assists. I think, yeah, 2 goals, 2 assists, and that speaks to it. So, um, lastly, I just wanted to mention that I think Shemi Ajayi, I keep calling him Shea, but his name is Shemi Ajayi and Calvin Bassey look like a strong partnership,
Yeah.
but I still don't like that we have conceded in every game. I don't like that. So
Yeah.
hopefully we wrap that up. But what are your thoughts?
No, no, that was a great point. I think that front three, or excuse me, not that front three, that midfield three rather
Yeah.
of Iwobi, is it Ndidi,
Indeed, yeah.
and then Onyeka. That's like the perfect blend. We're not, it gives Iwobi some more time and like ability to not do too much. I think we were
Exactly.
asking him to do too much. And this formation rather kind of allows everybody to showcase their strengths and then
Mhm.
masks their weakness. Um, Really crazy how different the feel of the game was with, that with us getting it right. It's important in these tactics, especially at a national tournament, to figure out who gels well and meshes well in order for us to get the best out of everybody. And Lookman in the middle, um, as opposed to, I feel like every now and then we would see the best of him in a World Cup qualifying match, but I want to see him consistently, doing bits with Ozyman on the pitch as well. And I think that's what we're getting to see. I hope we can carry it through until the round of 16 and beyond.
Yeah, I it's to that last point you made of him and Osimhen like clicking. I think Lookman's second goal that like Osimhen like it was a beautiful goal, really. Like Ndidi backhill, then Osimhen backhill back to Iwobi. Iwobi's pass to Osimhen in space. Osimhen's cut back. Then Lookman's touch, shimmy to the left and blasted. That goal kind of encapsulates what you just said now in terms of like finding
Yeah.
the right spot and um, making having all of them cook at the same time. And
I feel
Osimhen's
like
only goal was a cross from Lookman. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, pardon me. I feel like now we're seeing what we do see oftentimes with the giant of Africa, but what we do see, and I know that's kind of like it hits a nerve since we're not really doing much right now with that
Yeah,
title, but we're it's a bunch of individuals, what it's been, like individual brilliance, moments of individual brilliance. But what we're seeing now is the cohesion of the team.
yeah,
They're meshing and they're gelling well. Um, it's a lot different for Iwobi to be or to play the right pass in the box versus being t just running around asking, thinking about, oh, where should I be? What should I be doing? I think that there's just a little bit less of there's more calm around everybody. Even our back line is a little bit
mhm.
less frenetic reactionary football. It's more
That's a good
we have a
point.
plan and we're gelling well.
That's a great point because that's a great point, especially when you said it will be last AFCON. I remember like he looked like he didn't know what his job was.
Yeah,
And now, like to your point, everybody kind of understands what their role is and is showing, attacking wise anyway, is showing. So
yeah.
good point. Well, long may it continue, man. Like I think
Mhm.
a great consolation for not making the World Cup would be winning the AFCON. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Absolutely.
I'll take
Uh,
that.
we it's almost, I mean, AFCON is not an easy tournament to win. It really
What?
isn't. I kind of felt as if it was not easy, but I felt like we were the favorites last AFCON, and I was humbled. I was quite honestly humbled in terms of the togetherness that I saw from other teams, the hunger, the desire,
Hmm.
and then the complacency that I saw on our side. So if we approach the tournament with the right mentality, I think it would be a really good good way to kind of quell the feelings that we all have in the Super Eagles fan base right now
Yeah, and the feeling that we will have again this summer when everybody
this summer. Uh,
gyrating in our own backyard. They are
yeah,
gyrating in our backyard, and we cannot wear our
yeah.
jersey. We cannot wear our jersey and come out and show our face.
They'll laugh.
We
They'll laugh.
see this
It's
game.
funny. Some of my this past weekend, I went to watch the day after boxing games with some of my mates, and they're subscribers and watchers of the pod, and
Yeah.
they were like, he's like they mentioned Nigeria not making it. And they're like, or no, what they said is, what would be great, Nelson, is if in the World Cup when Nigeria is playing, if you can give like a on the scene type of view. I was
Oh,
like,
watch out, bro.
that was literally the entire one of the it was a big idea. And it's still painful.
Yeah,
So,
we did
but
something like that for the Club World Cup, and we're like, okay, just to
yeah,
test the waters, then we'll do a World Cup, and maybe do some live thing outside. Let's move on.
yeah,
Let's
it
just
hurts, but we'll ball IQ will still be there for the World Cup, the group
yeah,
games, the group stage and beyond.
salty, but we'll be there.
We will be there. We will definitely give you guys the on the ground
Feedback, yeah,
view
yeah, for sure. But taking it, I guess, staying on AFCON, but taking it outside of Nigeria and other countries, I think that, I mean, we're talking off air about like how impressive Morocco, Algeria, Ivory Coast defending champions, Senegal, like South Africa, like all these guys are serious. Like these guys,
Yeah.
they're not joking. They're serious. And also, all the stars are showing up. Salah, Foster for South Africa, Lookman, Osimhen, Iwobi, Mahrez, Nico Jackson, Mane, Brahim Diaz, Amad Diallo, like every
Everybody's there.
marquee name is on the score sheet. Everybody's on the score sheet. Wilfred Zaha has an assist. Iwobi has what? How many assists now? Like, um, everybody's really turning up. It was cool to see, Mbappe show up for the Morocco game and the Cameroon
Yeah.
game. Jules Koundé and Tchouaméni showed up for the Cameroon game because I believe both of them are Cameroonian. I know Tchouaméni is
Mm.
for sure. Um, so it's cool to see them. And did you see Kanye West was there?
Yay.
Yay, excuse me. Yay was there.
That is who knows what that man is doing these days, but all I can really say is AFCON is massive. Africa is massive because look
Yeah.
at that. Um,
Africa is massive, yeah, and they're showing up. Like, I think the next one is. going to be even bigger. And this news about it switching to every 4 years. What do you think about that?
Um, that's the thing. I was looking at this calendar right now, and I think it's almost we'll see if anybody touch wood, nobody gets injured in the war the in the during the tournament because that's the biggest like thing that people hate about AFCON. I think with the World Cup on the horizon, so it's going to be quite a bit of games for an Egyptian national team player. So let's take Mohamed Salah, for example.
Hmm.
It's two major tournaments in the same calendar year. Um, my question to you would be, is that if it switches to 4 years, will it still happen on
The
the
same
same year of
year.
the World Cup?
I don't think so. I think
Mhm.
after the next one, because technically this is 2025 AFCON.
We're still off schedule.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's supposed to be, I think a year between or two. I can't remember. I don't
hmm
like it personally. I just don't like it.
Yeah. 4 years is a bit of time. A lot can happen in 4 years. I do feel as if this tournament, the Euros is every 2 years, no?
4 years.
Or is it every 4 years? Every 4 years?
Yeah. The years is every four
Okay.
years.
And AFCON had been every 2 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
A bar some, just like Copa America, where sometimes some things go left or
Things,
right.
yeah.
So
I think in general, it might benefit in terms of like a organizational standpoint and maybe building up interests because it's a lovely tournament. I don't think it gets the viewership that it deserves oftentimes.
mm,
And maybe making it a little bit less
frequent.
yeah, I would just be curious to know what the reason is behind that 4 years. If it's uh financially motivated or if it's more about the organization of it or you know is it more so like Europe finally won in terms of this tournament needs to not be happening every 2 years because it's disruptive to our club system.
I don't know. I don't know what
Mm.
I need to read more about it, but I
Yeah,
don't know
yes,
what
but
the reasoning behind it. I know it will start in 2028. That's when it will take into full effect. So there will be a 2025 AFCON, which is right now. There'll be a
Mhm.
2027 AFCON, and there'll be a 2028 AFCON. And then from there it'll be 4 years.
Then we're gonna chill. Yeah, let's see here. 2025, 2026, before 2027, and then a quadrennial after 2020. Wow. So
Yeah.
we're gonna get a lot of it. We're getting a lot of it,
In
and
a
then it's
short
gonna
time
go away.
span, yeah. Yeah.
Got you.
But man, God willing, we can be able to go to the next one. I've never been to an AFCON before, so it
Yeah.
sounds like honestly, the World Cup is great. Copa America is great. Euros are great. I'm sure the Asian Cup is great as well.
Mm.
AFCON will probably be the best tournament to go to. It'll probably be not as expensive as the other ones, and it'll probably be more vibey than the other ones.
Yeah. Culturally enriching.
Yes, that's the right word. Yes.
I think it'd be an experience. I went to the Copa America Centenario
You
match.
did. You did. You went to the final too, yeah.
Yeah, it was I think it was 10 years, maybe 10 years ago. It was Chile versus
Argentina,
Argentina.
yeah. The second one, the first one.
I think it was the match where Messi retired
He's tired, yeah.
afterwards
Yeah.
because his heart was broken by Arturo Vidal, and
Yeah.
I think it was
And
Arturo Vidal.
Alexis
Yeah, Alexis
Sanchez
Sanchez.
and
Oh man, that team.
Claudio Bravo.
Yeah, that team was
Still
special, and Argentina was
Eduardo
dysfunctional.
Vargas. Yeah, that was a good team. Yeah. That was a good
Yeah,
team.
but that was a glimpse of what those types of tournaments are. Because, like you said, the World Cup is fantastic, but we don't really, there's not really a sense that we can win the whole dang thing at some
Yeah.
point. Whereas, this is our turn. The AFCON's our tournament. It's our trophy. It's our continent. It's a different vibe. I
Very
think it would
different.
be a different vibe.
And it bleeds through the crowd too. I think my favorite last thing I'll say on AFCON is my favorite off the field moment of AFCON is the guy that pays tribute to Patrick Lumumbu, the DR Congo guy that just stands like this. Uh,
Mm.
throughout the game. Like him there standing like a statue throughout the 90 minutes is very impressive. So
It's powerful.
shout out to Buddy, and of course he's paying respect to an icon. So that's been
Mhm.
my favorite off the field thing. Last time it was all about Cape Verde. They kept following the camera, kept following Cape Verde and the
Yeah.
fans. This time there's something there's
There's
something
always something
more.
they hone in on.
Yeah, it's something more. I guess more. It's something else. Let me just put it that way. I don't want to put
Yeah.
more or less or anything. Yeah, I'll just put it that way. Um, but yeah, great tournament. Last, I'll leave you with the last word by asking you this question. Who do you think has been the player of the tournament thus far in the AFCON?
Yeah, fine. I mean, Nico had been playing very well for Senegal. He fills his role very well. Let me see here.
I can give you some options too, like um obviously Lukman has been playing well. Iwobi has been playing well for
Yeah,
us. Brahim. Again, he has been playing like he's Messi in Morocco. Mahrez too, obviously, you know where he
Mahrez has been
gets
playing well. Yeah,
um
so looking at the
of the
team of
season.
the
Group
no team
stage.
of the tournament thus far, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Bouanga,
Mm-hmm.
that looks like Cape Verde. You got Mbuku, that's Congo.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Gael Kakuta? You're having a laugh.
No, it's not Gakakuta.
Kakuta, um,
Oh
for
my God.
Congo, and then yeah, I mean, it looks like Riyadh and Ademola Lookman are
It is
having.
Gakakuta, by the way. Yeah.
It is Gael. Wow, us Chelsea fans know that name well, well,
Well.
well. But
Uh,
yeah, I'd say, I mean, as a homer, I would probably say Lookman in that Tunisia game
yeah.
stuck out. Riyad Mahrez is old but gold. I think he's still carrying um, Algeria in a number of ways. So
Yeah. For me, it's Brahim. Brahim has been.
a cut above.
It's just different gravy from
Yeah.
every time he steps on the field. For me, it's been Brahim, but yeah. But I mean, I guess again for our um, Super Eagles long, may our form continue, and we'll see
Mhm.
where it takes us. And hopefully by next episode, we have good things to say about our boys.
Amen.
Amen. All right, last thing in the recap that I wanted you to lead us in, not lead us in prayer, but um, lead us emotionally through is Enzo Maresca leaving Chelsea. Nobody
Yeah.
saw that coming. What happened? What's going on? Who's coming? Who's responsible for this? And who's coming?
Yeah, it's definitely a tough pill to swallow. No idea or sense of who's coming. I don't think it's going to be a marquee manager from what I've been told. I also think that there were rumblings that he had been approached as far back as I think October by Manchester City and as well as Juventus, and I remember hearing and seeing stuff about that. Um, Not really being threatened about that, but what really kind of hurt, kind of put me on alert was him getting a new agent. I believe it's Jorge Mendes, who is a super
Oh,
agent.
oh no,
Um,
Jorge Mendes. Every time he walks
yeah,
in, you know something big is about to happen.
yeah, I believe. Let me check. Yeah, I believe he teamed up with. Yeah, he's with Jorge Mendes, who he's a he's like a he's probably the new Raiola,
Yeah.
in terms of getting the most value for his client and really turning a client into a brand. And I think Maresca's at a place where the pressure is piling up at Chelsea. It was um, off of his return from 18 months, he get two trophies. very big statement wins against Barcelona as well as PSG last year
Mm-hmm.
that had really put him on the map in a number of ways that had attracted attention from clubs that I have to be honest have a bigger footprint than Chelsea um, in City and Juventus. Juventus is the biggest club in Italy. Chelsea is not the biggest club in England. So you know, I'm upset that this change has happened. I thought the board had kind of left these types of decisions in the past, but um, you know, the biggest part of the biggest decision makers on the board are Baghdad at Bali and Clear Lake Capital. They own 60% of the of Chelsea, and their uh, MO or the modus operandi has been to just maximize profit from the club and players at the expense of the quality of play. A lot of the things that I've been seeing is, the board was interfering with player selection and player injury return times. And, it's more of the same. This is the same stuff that Pochettino had experienced.
Cool, cool.
Um, and he was just like, this isn't sustainable. This isn't, I can't grow here. That's the take home that I think is a bitter pill to swallow as a Chelsea fan. That these are quality managers. Pochettino maybe not so much, but Maresca is a bit of gold. He
Hey, don't do that with Poch, man.
he hasn't won anything, so that's just why I said that. But except for one PSG league, then. But I believe, yeah. But the thing about it is, it's all about money in this one, I think. It's like I feel like the club has become corporatized,
Hmm.
where margins are more important than the quality of play and the sustainability of the club and the team. My biggest concern is players like Enzo Maresca, Enzo Fernandez and Cucurella and Cole, all and Reece James for that matter. Just at this moment in time, reevaluating their situations or maybe looking um, at different clubs as a reprieve for some stability as opposed to staying with what we have here. So it's
Yeah.
really tough. It's dark, I'd say.
Mhm.
And any of the candidates they mentioned, none of them have really wet my beak or given me a sense of confidence at all. Um, in terms of Maresca, I think he did this to free himself up for the Manchester City role, which is uh, arguably going to be open in the next 2 years or so.
When does
Pep.
Pep's contract run off?
So it's kind of Pep was slated to. I think his contract was slated to end at the end of next season.
Hmm.
But I think he signed an extension um, recently, which actually caused some trouble at home. I mean, he's been dealing with some issues with his. Um, Adrian actually brought this up, to be honest, with our cousin. But
Yeah.
I think he had been separated from his wife, and then when he extended his contract, that was kind of like the impetus to end things. Um, so he's going through a bunch. He's saying he's not going to leave the club, but who know? It's almost the perfect. If they were to win the league this year, I think that would be the perfect time for him to go. Um, Either way, I think the last 2 weeks he made a comment saying, City needs to prepare for my inevitable departure, is what he said. He said
Yeah.
he's not leaving today, but they need to prepare. And I think if I were Enzo Maresca, you know, being able already winning trophies there, um, he's definitely seems to be an heir apparent. So
Hmm.
it's a bummer and kind of speaks to where we're at as a club that City can kind of pip our manager preemptively if that's what happened.
If that would happen, well, we'll see. Time always tells, right? Time will tell how everything shakes up and who ends up in Chelsea. Um, if there's no big name, I wonder if Frank will come back and do a job for you guys.
No, I think
No,
Frank's pretty comfortable at Coventry. He's
Coventry,
beloved.
yeah,
They're,
yeah,
his goal, he's a goal-oriented lad from what I can tell. And I think, or man, rather, and where he's at right now, especially last year, I think he led Coventry and they just
they just missed
missed
out,
it.
yeah,
Yeah. So I think he feels like he owes them.
promotion.
And why would he leave a
Now,
project that's settled? He
yeah.
did that already with Derby County when we needed
Mhm.
him. So what I'm afraid of what's going to happen is we'll probably appoint Liam Rossignol, who's the manager right now at Strasbourg.
Mm.
Um, and they're doing well. They're settled. We'll probably pip him from Strasbourg, replace him with a or replace Strasbourg's manager, get them somebody I don't even know from where, and force this, you know, young manager into one of the hottest seats in London or England in the Chelsea job on the heels of, yeah, it's a lot. It's
It's a
dark. I
lot,
hope it
yeah.
doesn't happen during the season. But shall see.
We shall see. We shall see.
Uh,
Definitely.
I heard, I think Fabrizio said um, Rossignol is not going to come without like guarantees that this is a long-term project. Zidane already said no, apparently. I don't even think we even asked, but you just have to ask. I think what's his name? Thomas Frank said he's not going to, or no, Oliver Glasner said he's not going to leave in the middle of the season. Um, Thomas Frank just got to Spurs. I don't
But,
think he's
yeah.
going anywhere. So um, it's tough, like
The market is not nice for managers.
for managers. So it was heating up, heating up, heating up on New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day is the first manager ever be sacked or bid or to leave on New Year's Day. So
Yes, they
it's
are.
very tough.
That's crazy. Well, again, like I said, we'll watch that space and see what shakes up again and what news comes out again. And
It's embarrassing. Amarin is still employed. Slot is still employed.
yeah, that is actually wild. That
The
he'll be
state of
leaving.
our club, man.
Yeah, he'll be leaving before Amorim at least. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, and I saw the stat of Chelsea like keep losing leads, especially at home. I think they've lost the most points at home from winning positions in the league, so that's definitely a problem too. But then again,
Yeah.
since Colwill, you guys haven't had a real replacement there, so
No, there's been, like I said, it's all going to be revealed in due time, but there's been a lot of murmurings about the past month and a half, Maresca's lineups, his substitutions, the lack of center backs. Um, I think the rumor was that, I mean, both Trevor Chalobah and Josh Anchepong were willing to leave the club if we signed another center back,
hmm.
which would have complicated things from the board's perspective. They didn't want to lose out on a prospect like Josh. Um, but things like that are, if I was a manager and things are coming from above, like, hey, you can't play this player, or hey, you need to play this player. I think Pedro Neto's team was getting upset, worrying why he wasn't starting more. It's all hearsay now, but these are things that, um, looking back on some of those fixtures and wondering, okay, why is Malo Gusto playing as a central midfielder today? Like, why is, you, why is Trevor Chalobah playing? Um, Not Trevor, just Trevor's been center back or right back predominantly, but there's been a lot of players that have been played out. I think Esteval had a stint at right wing back for a moment. Like there's a lot of like dynamism that was we were seeing. And typically when coaches do that, it's kind of like there's something more going on with the board. Um Maresca didn't think that Andre Santos was ready or could lead the midfield or was a replacement for Caicedo or Enzo Maresca or Enzo Fernandez.
Hmm.
Um, so we started, I mean, Gusto, it just didn't make sense. A
Yeah.
lot of things that you're kind of questioning in retrospect, but you know.
We'll see.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. When you said that the thing about like when you start seeing players play certain positions and you're wondering like why, um, it just for some reason reminded me of the breaking news that came out about Lewandowski's statements about
The
about
goal.
him, the goal thing. I'm like Barcelona is just like. I don't know. It just made me think like, why would they tell their player not to score goal? And they were like, it's not as if they had the league wrapped up. They had the league wrapped up, but not wrapped up, if you know what I mean, mathematically.
Yeah,
So the fact that they would tell their starting striker that is actually
nuts. It's nuts.
incredible. It just flashed in my head again. I'm like, yeah, that's true. I haven't spoken in a while. I'm like, yeah, that did happen. But anyway,
Yeah.
I
When
digress.
football is, I don't want to say the game's gone, but at Chelsea, the way that we're operating, it's a cycle, it's a rotation, it's a, it, I'm really discouraged by what I'm seeing, um, because I felt as if we had kind of, um, I don't want to say graduated, but kind of lost these types of this decision making that we've been known for, which is, oh, results aren't going well, or oh, there's a fallout. These two people don't get along. You know, you don't sack your manager in January when you have all to play for. The Champions League is still alive. The Carabao Cup semifinal is against Arsenal, I believe. Not the most winnable game, but definitely something to all to play for, trophy to play for. And we're top six. Top six is in our, is in our grasp. So it's really troubling and um, doesn't make much sense.
Doesn't make much sense. Yeah, yeah, the fifth, and just 3 points behind Liverpool in fourth. Actually,
Yeah, but the
if
top
you,
three is crazy
yeah,
difference.
yeah, yeah. The top, Aston Villa was third on 39 points, and they are 6 points ahead of Liverpool in fourth and 9 points ahead of you in fifth. Uh,
Yeah,
and City messed up by tying against Sunderland, and Villa messed up by losing to Arsenal. So Arsenal is
yeah.
increasing that lead again in the Prem. But again, so January is gonna be madness.
It's gonna
January,
be a madness.
January is
I
gonna
don't
be
know
a
if we
madness.
sign a center back.
Yeah,
I doubt it. Um,
we'll see.
I doubt it, man. I don't. It's not gonna get better.
Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. Player of the week or last week's. Calvert Lewin has been going crazy. Morgan Rogers has been since he signed. I haven't seen a player that in a while that signs a contract and starts playing well. It's usually the opposite.
Yeah,
So Morgan Rogers has been balling out of his mind. And for AFCON, spoke about Iwobi, Lookman, Brahim, Mahrez, Mane, what's your boy? What's your boy?
Nico,
Nico Jackson.
Nico Jackson
Um,
might come
and
back to Chelsea. He fell out with Maresca, so might he
Michael,
might come back.
that's a good point. That is a good
Might come
point.
back.
I didn't even think of that. That's a good point. But I mean, player of the week, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I've seen a lot of Morocco, so I feel like Brahim has been the player of the tournament thus far. From a Nigerian perspective, we spoke about Lookman probably ahead of Iwobi by a fraction, in my opinion. Um, I don't know who you think should be player of the week.
Probably Brahim Diaz, I
Yeah,
think. I just looked at the his Zofa score and the way that he's been playing, the eye test, but
I
also
test
just
is
in
wild.
general.
I test
Yeah.
in doing is wild.
Yeah, he's doing bits.
Doing madness. So Ibrahim, and he has agreed terms to extend his contract in Real Madrid. So he'll be around for a while, thankfully. I think he's accepted that like first the 12th man role.
Mm.
Um, And I think that's where he shines the most for us because when he starts, he doesn't really, he's not the same like when he comes off the
Yeah,
bench for us. So, um, but well, congrats, Brahim. This is the first time he's won Player of the Week for us. So congrats to him and I respect him for choosing Morocco. I think
always been.
I saw reports that Spain called him back up, but he hadn't chosen Morocco yet, but he chose Morocco. I think he saw the long-term
Yeah.
project and stuff, and he chose that. So definitely a
I think
smart move
that's
for him too.
I sent something to you about um I think it was Callum Hudson-Odoi and maybe another Ghanaian player that were trying to like
Oh, Nketiah.
squirrel their way into
Nketiah back in the day.
Ghana. Yeah, I think it might have been an old article, but just um the fact that they're not gonna make it for England and now they're like, hey, can knock knock knock, can I play
They're
here? And
like,
they're just it's just like I get the federations in Africa can leave a lot to be desired, but don't change up, dude. Like,
yeah,
stay over there if that's who I think there was like rumors that Tosin was gonna play for AFCON. I was like, for Nigeria, they're like, we need a center back. I was like,
no,
stay
they
over.
he's over there.
Don't ruin two things that I love.
Two
Like,
teams.
don't 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 do that. Um,
A
but
good
yeah.
example to what you're saying is Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka committed to DR Congo like during the qualifiers. So he's been playing qualifiers. Now he's playing the AFCON. They beat us in the World Cup qualifiers. So he would, if they go all the way, he'll be able to represent Congo. I mean, for DR Congo and for them, really like I don't think they'll have a better right back than him. But also,
Mm.
I feel like again that accompanied with the fact that he played qualifiers with them. Like I think that's my thing. Like go and play against Lesotho away,
Yes.
and go and play against Botswana away. Then go to
Mhm.
Seychelles away. Then go to you have to you can't just come
Earn
and
it.
say, hey, I've arrived. No, you have to
Yeah.
go. You have to sing, the dancing, this thing. You have to
Hmm.
do all those things. You can't just
You
come and
have
say,
to.
I'm from Man City Academy, play me. My friend, sit
Mm-mm.
down there first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
That's
yes,
so funny.
goal of the week. Um, the two goals that I saw outside of AFCON that were worthy of mentioning, Morgan Rogers against United, got the ball from the left, drove in top bins, great goal. João Pedro against Newcastle, like the long goal kick, and he uses his head to kind of like beat the defender and run one on one. I I
Seems
I thought that
like
goal, huh?
seems like a millennia ago, bro. Seems like I'm just tired, bro. Like that was the last time I like smiled when I thought of Chelsea, and that was
2 weeks
not that
ago,
long ago.
yeah, a
Yeah,
week and
but
a half ago, yeah. But that goal was
Bournemouth
clean.
and Villa, yeah. It
Yeah,
was nuts. I mean, Robert Sanchez, long ball,
yeah.
like not playing out the back, perfect pass, perfect control.
That control was crazy.
Um, at St. James Park, just knocked all the noise out of that whole stadium.
Yeah.
More assists than Florian Wirtz. Um, that's Robert Sanchez. So it's it was a great moment, but again, who knows what's to come. I mean, personally, I think that was I can't even take something from that moment because I don't know what's going to happen now. But that was the best I'd seen João Pedro
Like,
look in many months
yeah, since Club World Cup.
since the Club World Cup.
Yeah,
So
yeah, he looked good in that game. So those two goals were, I guess, outside of the AFCON. During the
um,
AFCON, I can name a bunch, like a bunch of goals, but the two that
yeah,
stood out is El Kabi versus Comoros, the bicycle kick, the first one. He's only
hmm
scored two, the
hmm
first one, and then Christian Michel Fofana for Cameroon against Mozambique. Personally, that's my goal of the goal of the week. His name is Christian Michel Fofana, for Cameroon versus Mozambique. Like getting the ball top of the box, like the technique of the shot, obviously for aesthetically hits the post, bounces down, hits the roof, like it was
mm.
a disgusting goal. and they needed that win to like confirm qualification. I think if I'm not mistaken, that made them. I think that made them. Did that make them top the group? I wanted to say no, no. It finished same points with Cote d'Ivoire, but at that time, Cote d'Ivoire was losing. Cote d'Ivoire had to come back from 2-0 down to beat
Wow.
Gabon 3-2 to top the group. So they had the same points and the same goal difference, but I think it was goals scored, I think, is what edged Cote d'Ivoire over.
Yeah, I
And
just saw the goal.
yeah, crazy goal. And it just reminded me, Gabon, they suspended the whole national team, and Aubameyang is out of the team. He didn't even play the last game.
Yeah, he left.
Yeah, like they just the government just took over and took away their this thing.
Spoiled.
But yeah. So what do you think about the goal?
I think that might be it.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, as much as I think it should be one of each.
yeah.
AFCON, because the AFCON they do things like
They do
they
things.
don't
It's not fair.
score.
It's not fair to
Yeah,
the
they
rest.
score in a different way that you're not gonna. I mean, you'll see a goal like that in the Prem, like from time to time, but
Yeah.
in AFCON, that's not even the best goal that's been scored in the tournament. Technically, I
Yes.
mean, it's one of.
That's a
So
that's
I
a
would
good
do.
point.
I mean, Joao Pedro for me. Um, but let me see. Morgan Rogers is also
Yeah, that goal against United was
top.
clean too. I liked. I think for thinkers of the game, pun intended, they'll understand why we are nominating João Pedro's goal because watching the game, like watching the goal is like, oh, he bounced the ball off his head, 1v1 finish, but they won't understand the mechanics that goes into
I mean,
executing that. But obviously, like uh, what's his name? Morgan Rogers' goal, I think it's the first one against United. That one was kind of like clean too, but I don't know. I'll
yeah.
let you pick.
Mm, I think the Fafana goal,
Okay.
Fafane, and then um, Joao Pedro just for the combination of the pick out by the goalie to
Yeah,
find him, the control, uh, the dynamicism to beat the center back, um, have a better concept of space, and then beat the goal, like just kill the goalie. Like
yeah,
he didn't like take a touch around him, but he didn't overcomplicate. And like you said, for thinkers of the game, that's something that like I was like, oh my gosh, is he gonna do too much? No. It
yeah.
was like I think he blacked out. He was just like, "Oh,
Yeah, it's
this
easy to
is
black out.
perfect."
It's easy
Yeah,
to black out.
because
Like, oh my
if you
God.
think you overthink that, you're gonna
Yep.
mess it up.
Yeah.
Um,
Fair point.
so and then also at St. James Park, the day I think it was the day before the weekend before Christmas,
Yeah.
which is typically when we're at our most charitable as a club. So it was good to see that.
Yeah. Fair.
Um,
I like
I
it.
think that's
Good
good
pick.
way to leave it.
Yeah, so Fafane and João Pedro, congrats on the goal of the week. I know the big game, apart from the AFCON games, of course, is Chelsea versus City without a manager.
Yeah.
We'll probably discuss that more in the next episode. And also um, two things I wanted to say before we close. One, shout out to Sudan for making the um knockouts of the AFCON despite what's going on in their country. Um, if you know, you know, like with a lot
Mhm.
of people losing their lives, losing their livelihoods, losing their homes, their team playing their games outside of their home country, their league also playing outside in other leagues as well, but making the round of 16 despite all of that is a huge fit. So congrats to Sudan. And lastly, for prayers up for to AJ and the people that lost their lives in the car crash in Nigeria on Lagos Ibadan Express.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was definitely definitely a sad news, especially when it's fatal, of course. So
Mm.
May their souls rest in peace, and we wish AJ speedy recovery.
Amen.
Any last words from you?
Um, just best of luck to our interim coach this weekend, Callum McFarlane. Uh,
Colin McFarland is a nasty name for a coach. I'm sorry.
Callum McFarlane. He's the under 21s coach. Um, and
Mhm.
he's facing Pep Guardiola. So,
Man, fantastic. Stuff of dreams.
yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
But again, it would be very Chelsea to, fancier, just get some sort of
big,
draw, get
big
some
game
sort of
Chelsea.
points out of this.
Big game
Um,
Chelsea.
like that would be very Chelsea, but it was like a little too late type of thing. But we'll see. I mean, City's been playing very, very, very well.
Hmm.
Um, we've kind of just been getting by, so we'll see. We'll see if this is a new manager bounce that does exist, but I don't know. It's Pep.
Time will tell. We'll see you next episode.
We
Well,
shall see.
Happy New Year, folks. Thank you for sticking with us thus far. Um, and more to come 2026, baby.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.